It was the year 1985. My sister and I have always been close. We always were there for each other and would do almost anything the other needed as we were growing up. I was about 3 years younger than her, and we were like best friends, which was kind of strange since most brothers and sisters usually don't get along. Throughout our lives, whenever something happened to one of us, the other would be there for help and support, which really changed my life when I turned 16. My sister came home from college crying one day. I went to see what was wrong. We sat on the couch in the living room, and she told me that her boyfriend had broken up with her. What she said next really surprised me. After about an hour of comforting her, she looked up at me and said that she really needed a sister right now, someone that could relate to her and understand what she was going through. I said I was there for her and could do anything she wanted. She knew that. "No," she said. "I need a sister right now, someone I can talk to on the same level." "But I don't know what to do for you, sis." She paused and built up a little courage and said, "I want you to be my sister." I half laughed and with a puzzled look on my face asked her what she meant. "I know this is strange for me to say," she said, still crying, "but I need you to be a sister." She paused, unable to think of how to phrase her request. Finally, she described what she wanted. "I want you to be my sister. I want you to act like her. I want you to dress like her. I want you to be her." She looked at me with deep eyes, which I knew that she really meant what she said. She continued, "And afterwards just hold me and work me through all of this." I was confused. I had always been there for her in the past, but she had never said or done anything like this before. I felt weird but couldn't express myself with words. Did she actually want me to be her sister instead of her brother? I looked at her with a puzzled expression and said, "I've never had a girlfriend. And, well, I've never even gone on a date, so I don't know if I can help you with your relationship problems. Especially like that." "Richard," she said with a calm voice, "I know this may be difficult for you, but I really need this. I know you've never been on a date. That's why this is the perfect time." I didn't understand what she meant by that because it seemed to be a contradiction. I looked into her eyes and shook my head. "No." I told her, "I love you, but this is something beyond what any family member would ever do for another." She cried even harder, but all I could do was sit there and say nothing. A few days went by and things hadn't changed. Alice was still depressed and I felt hopeless to help her. One day while I was sitting on the couch watching TV, she came into the room and asked if she could talk to me. "Of course," I said with a big smile. She sat on the couch next to me and reached out to hold my hand. Her eyes looked directly into mine in a way I had never seen before. "I know you don't want this," she said, "but I need this." "What do you need, sis?" "You know," she said, looking down to the floor, purposely averting her eyes from me. "I need you to be my sister." I was a little shocked. I thought that maybe what she had said a few days earlier was due to the fact that she couldn't think straight, but now she still wanted the same thing. "Alice," I said, "I'm not a girl. I'm a boy. I will always be here for you. You know that, but what you're asking is something I just don't feel right about doing." "Richard, I love you as a brother. Please understand that I wouldn't ask this of you if I didn't love you. I know it's different, but deep down inside, I know this will help. I know it may sound a little selfish, but please try to understand that I would go out of my way to do anything for you." She paused to regain her thoughts. "Please, I'm begging you, do this for me." I smiled and asked, "So, does that mean you would dress up like a guy if I wanted you to?" She shook her head and smirked. "No," she giggled, "because I always wanted a little sister. And inside, I had always hoped that somehow you would do this for me. I know you don't have those feelings about me, right? You've always liked the fact that I'm your sister. You've never wanted a brother." I thought about what she said. She was right. I never wanted a brother. I liked her just the way she was. I didn't want her to change. "I'm sorry that I never told you that before," she said in a very somber way. "You don't hate me, do you?" "Of course not," I said. I knew she was very depressed and she really wanted this. We talked for over 2 hours and gradually I began to realize how serious she was about this. After thinking about it, I finally decided I would do it for her, but no one was to know about it. A big smile formed across her face and she exclaimed, "Great." It was mid-June and I had just started summer vacation, so I wouldn't have to worry about school. And Mother worked during the day, so there wasn't any chance of her finding out. I asked her, "How long do you need me to do this?" "I don't know, but I promise that Mom won't find out and both of us will make sure to have you back to your male clothes before she gets home at night." I believed everything she told me. Alice never lied. The next day after Mother left for work, Alice came into my bedroom to wake me up. Neither of us had any problems with being in each other's rooms. She nudged my shoulder and said with a big smile, "Get up, sleepyhead." I woke up realizing what lay ahead. "Come on, I've got everything ready." I followed her into her room where she had laid out one of her workout outfits across her bed. We were both the same height and had roughly the same slender build, so she knew that her clothes would fit me without a problem. I looked at the outfit and a shiver went down my spine. I know I agreed to this, but I really wasn't ready for the reality of it. "Don't look yet," she said, still smiling. "First we need to remove your body hair." She had me sit in her private bathroom and take off all of my clothes as she pumped a healthy amount of depilatory cream into her hand. "This stuff is a lifesaver." I hesitated because smooth legs would make it hard for me to shed this appearance, but Alice took it as fear of the cream. "Don't worry, it only burns a little," Alice said, patting her other hand on the side of the bathtub. "I'm not sure I really want this," I said. "Come on. You'll love how smooth it gets you, I promise." I could have just made a break for it right there. Refuse and put my foot down, but I started thinking about how Alice might get upset. She obviously really wanted this to happen, so I sat down on the side of the tub. "Put your leg on my lap," Alice said as I complied. "Oh, you could totally use a pedicure too." She started rubbing the cream over my legs and arms while making idle conversation, mainly about boys and other girly things I wasn't really interested in hearing about. Before I could respond, I felt the tingling from the cream start to go even further. "Ugh!" I exclaimed. "Okay, that means it's working." Alice grabbed the shower head and started to spray my legs down. I moved my arms under the faucet and wiped the excess off with a towel. Alice ran her fingers across my thigh as she admired her work. "Smooth as a baby's bottom," Alice exclaimed as I involuntarily giggled. "See? I told you that you'd like it." "What about my shower?" I asked. "Not until after our workout. We don't want to get all sweaty afterwards." She was right about that. She led me back into her room and sat me down on her bed. "I really thought about what you could wear for our workout, and this is what I came up with." Alice had always worked out every morning, even though she didn't need to, but this was the first time she had included me. She held up a pair of pink panties and smiled. "This is first." I put the panties on and carefully tucked my male parts beneath so they weren't as noticeable. Next, she produced a pair of pink tights. She carefully showed me how to roll them up my legs and put my feet through and carefully bring them up to my waist. She gave me a pink padded sports bra and she helped me put it on. Then she brought out a purple leotard and showed me how to step through it and put it on properly. I felt really strange and looked down at the tight clothing I was wearing. The leotard has a V-neck with a little matching color bow at the bottom of the neckline. It also had long sleeves and was made of velvet. Next, she carefully combed my hair back, as it was down to my shoulders to begin with, and tied it back into a simple, messy bun. After that, she brought out a pair of pink leg warmers, which she put on my feet and gently worked them up my leg. She stopped just below my knees and fitted them on my feet so that just my toes were coming out at the bottom. The feeling I had was like nothing I had ever felt before. The outfit was soft, and Alice was being even kinder than she ever had been in the past. I looked at her and asked her what she was going to wear. "Silly sister," she responded. "I've already got my workout outfit on." She was wearing a light blue jogging suit with a white t-shirt underneath. On her feet, she wore white socks and matching light blue tennis shoes. Her hair was tied back like mine and she was wearing a sweatband. I looked at her with a puzzled look on my face and asked, "Why am I dressed so differently?" "My outfit is really feminine compared to yours." Alice smiled and hugged me. "Richard, I've always been a tomboy. I can't wear pretty things, it's just not me." I've always wanted my sister to be the pretty one, and now I have her," she said, referring to me. Her hug continued with her arms wrapped around me and her hands on my back, and her head resting against mine. I felt really accepted by her, more so than I had ever felt in the past, so I said nothing. She was happy, and I felt that by saying the wrong thing, it might only hurt her or make her feel depressed again.